Hey y'all, hope you guys are having a good day. Just putting away some dishes here. And I was kind of thinking about one of my favorite verses. It's Galatians 2:20. And it says, I have been crucified with Christ, and it is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. The life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved himself and gave himself up for me. Yo, we died on that cross with Jesus. Like when he died, we died too. Somehow if there's another verse that says, one died, therefore all have died. Like he died the death for all of us, and we all died with him. Like our old nature was crucified on that cross, and it's not coming back. Like we could sit there and be like, oh, I'm a sinner, I'm such a bad person, when in reality you're not, because your old man died on the cross with Christ, and you are now born again. You are new creations. When he came out of that grave, he brought out with him our new self, our new identity, which is a saint. We're no longer sinners struggling to appease this God somewhere far off in the heavens. We were united with him on the cross, and we were crucified with him, and that is now part of our identity, is we are no longer sinners, but we are saints. Like, it blows my mind. Like, he loved us so much that he didn't want us to try to do it on our own, because we can't be good enough and can't follow all the rules enough on our own. So he's like, you know what? I'll do it for you. So he came down and he died in our place. So he paid all of our sin debt, all of our penalties, all of our punishment. He did all that for us, because he was like, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to be good enough to pay for this mistake, this problems, and to cover all your sins. So he's like, I'll do it for you. And he did. He came and he died on the cross for us. And we died on that cross with him. He took our old nature. He took all of our sin upon himself, and he died for us. And that's just such an amazing thing that sometimes, I know I sometimes forget that, and sometimes focus too much on the fact that we all want to be good, and we want to be good for him. But sometimes there's a lot of emphasis that can get put, and it can turn into what you have to do to be saved. The reality is, you can't do anything to be saved. He already saved all of humanity when he died on the cross. We just haven't realized that we now have this new nature, and this is now an option for us. That's just how it is. And remembering that we have been crucified with Christ, you died too. Surprise, you died too. You died on that cross too. And you are now a new creation. You have been born again. And this other stuff, these things that you've struggled with, all of these things, that's gone. That's not part of you anymore. So when you're coming back up and you're like, oh man, I'm really struggling with telling lies, I'm a liar, that's not the truth about your identity, because the lying part of you, that liar that died on the cross with Christ, is gone. It's buried. It's in the grave somewhere. That's not you. You are the creation that came out of the grave, that was raised again with Christ. It's incredible. That's not who we are. We are now born again, sons and daughters of God, and he is now here working with us. We're living inside of us. We haven't even covered that yet. He is living inside of us, helping us be who he made us to be. There's a definition of the word grace, and it's by Graham Cook, and it says, grace is the empowering presence of God that enables us to be who he says we are in him. So kind of change the wording differently. Grace is God in us, helping us be who he made us to be. Grace is God helping us walk in this new identity, because we don't know what we're doing. I mean, honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing, but God does, and God knows what we're supposed to be in life and how we're supposed to walk in it. And he is now living inside of us, working through us. It's no longer us who live. It's Christ in us who is working to will and to work and helping us be the new creations that we were made to be, because we can't do it on our own. And that was something that he's showed me a long time ago. And when he showed me that, it completely transformed my life and like changed everything. I'd love to tell you all my testimony sometime, but that's something I just want you to remember, that you were crucified. You died too. So that old self isn't you. So when you've got something that's coming up and you're like, man, I'm really struggling with, telling lies. It's just the excuse not the excuse. It's just the thing I'm using. If you're struggling with like, man, I'm struggling with telling lies, you're not a liar. That's not who you are. Telling lies is not part of your new identity. That's the enemy trying to brand you with something that's not true. You were born again. You were loved by God, and that old self, that old man, sinful nature, that died on the cross, and you are new. Have a good day, friends.